Overland Park police say that home burglaries happen every 15 seconds in the U.S. and they have some tips for you to keep your home safe. Lock your doors, of course, have a security system, install motion lights and exterior lights on your home. Do not post pictures while you're on vacation. Also, if someone knocks on your door and you don't know who it is, don't answer, but don't be quiet either. If they don't hear anything, they may think that you're not home and try to break in.
All right, good advice. We continue to count down to Tuesday's election in Kansas City, Missouri, now less than 5 days from the opening of the polls on June 18th. KC voters have a lot to decide, including who will run the city for the next 4 years. Last night, the two candidates for mayor squared off in another debate.
This time, it was at the Kansas City Public Library's Plaza branch. Quentin Lucas again talked about what to do about crime. Opponent Jolie Justice said that she wants to move some meetings out of City Hall.
And folks are trying to figure out how to take off work, come down, find parking, do all the things that are difficult. I want to make sure that we make it easier for you. So one of the things that I will accomplish is make sure that we're bringing City Hall to you.
One of the first things I'll do is make sure we're investing in neighborhood policing officers. More officers who aren't just driving from scene to scene, not having time to process situations, but instead getting a chance to connect with communities.
We also have all the big moments from Tuesday night's debate that happened in our studios. Check out KMBC.com. We're committed to covering the issues and the candidates through Election Day. It's why we have KMBC 9 crews exclusively covering both mayoral campaigns. Look for the latest right here leading up to the election next Tuesday in Kansas City, Missouri. 7:06 right now. I want to get a look at your first alert traffic. Dealing with some issues along I-35. Thank goodness, though, that accident that we had has now been cleared out. But 35 northbound at Lone Elm Road is down to just one lane. 35 southbound is down to 2 lanes from Old 56 down to this area. So give yourself a little bit of extra time in the Olathe area.
All right, good to know. New this morning, leaders in the UK signed an extradition order to send WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to the U.S. Earlier this week, the U.S. Department of Justice formally requested Assange come to the country, be returned really, to face charges relating to the hacking of government computers. The British Home Secretary now says while he signed the order, it'll go before the courts tomorrow. That's where a final decision will be made. Right now, Assange is serving a 50-week-long sentence in London.
This morning, we're getting some new insight into what the president thinks about foreign influence in our elections. Jared Hill's covering this in our Washington bureau.
Hey, good morning, Rachel. There are a couple of things that we're following today. One, you have word that the first former White House official will be testifying regarding the Mueller report. But the big headline here is what President Trump is saying about accepting damaging information on an opponent from a foreign government.
If somebody called from a country, Norway, we have information on your opponent. Oh, I think I'd want to hear it.
In that exclusive interview with ABC News' George Stephanopoulos, the president admitted that he would not only accept dirt on a political opponent from a foreign government, he wouldn't automatically report it to the FBI. That statement directly contrasts with what the FBI director says should happen. Now, meanwhile, we've learned that the president's former communications director will testify behind closed doors with the House Judiciary Committee next week. Hope Hicks was a key figure in the Mueller report, outlining the president's role in creating a misleading statement about Don Jr.'s Trump Tower meeting to get dirt on Hillary Clinton. President Trump says that he would welcome information like that in the future.
But when somebody comes up with Oppo research, right? They come up with Oppo research. Oh, let's call the FBI. The FBI doesn't have enough agents to take care of it. But you go and talk honestly to congressmen. They all do it. They always have. And that's the way it is.
So while Hicks is testifying behind closed doors, the committee chair says that a transcript will be made public. Reporting in Washington, I'm Jared Hill for KMBC 9 News.
And as you heard, former White House Communications Director Hope Hicks due to testify on June 19th.
Could hundreds of inmates be released from a St. Louis jail next week? Community activists hope so. City leaders say not so fast. Protesters gathered Wednesday to oppose the workhouse jail's cash bail system. They argue the city is keeping people behind bars simply because they can't pay up. A federal judge this week ruled that that can't be the only reason, and she ordered new hearings for hundreds of detainees this week. If they don't get those hearings, judge says they'll be released. Leaders, though, want to warn the public. They say there won't be a mass exodus from the jail despite all of the complaints.
There are certain people that need to be locked up in the city of St. Louis. They don't have the ability to assimilate in our communities based upon their behaviors. Anytime you have an old facility that is not a modern facility, then that facility causes us problems. I'm interested in looking at it.
Got a lot of attention. You see a Ben & Jerry's truck there. Representatives from the ice cream company joined protesters in St. Louis.
Well, for the first time in team history, the St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup champs.
That feels nice to say, especially in Missouri, right? They handily beat the Bruins in Boston last night in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, 4-1. So it's been a very tense series. This is down to the wire in a winner-take-all game. Still, Blues run at hockey fans in Kansas City cheering for their Missouri team. Last night at the Blue Line in the River Market, hockey fans not only filled the bar, they filled the streets. While KC, of course, doesn't have its own NHL team, fans we spoke with say it's easy to pull for the Blues.
Brings the state together.
There's definitely a growing population of Blues fans within the area.
Missouri connection, it's a unity of the state.
Blues have seen some brotherly love from some KC sports superstars too. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and tight end Travis Kelce went to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals just to show the team some support.
Well, coming up, David Ortiz is still in the hospital days after someone shot him in the Dominican Republic.
Coming up, we'll bring you the new developments just into our newsroom on the investigation, and we'll check on Big Papi's condition.
A mother and daughter have been charged with the murder of a young pregnant woman. My one attorney wants extra charges filed.
And a Michigan police department is now in a fight with a YouTube star. We'll explain why they're so upset with his videos.